What is up, MOMnation? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to Energy Shift. I am Erin. I am a dual certified nutritionist. I am a nutrition coach. I am a certified personal trainer. I have a master's health coaching certification. I do behavioral work, mindset shifts, and help you get healthy in middle age and beyond. So, today we're going to be chatting about 5 things that you can do in your everyday life, your busy life, that are going to propel your health forward. Now, these things can in some situations lead to fat loss if that's your goal, but that is not going to be the topic at hand for today. But like I said, it can help with fat loss, it can help with growing muscle, it can help with energy improvement, sleep improvement, all of those things. So we are going to dive into that. I hope you guys all had a good week. I am 2 weeks in, 2.5 weeks in, if you have been watching these, to my own health and wellness journey. I mean, obviously, I'm a lot of years in, but I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I started on HRT. So far, I am noticing a lot of energy improvements. I am sleeping a little bit better. Sleep is something that I have struggled with for a really long time. So that was the main thing I went to my doctor for to continue. Actually, I went to like a satellite practitioner because my PCP was not helping me with my sleep issues and what I believe to be some hormonal things going on. I'm 42. I believe that I started experiencing symptoms of perimenopause around 36, 37. I had gained a pretty good amount of weight. I have since lost that weight. I wasn't on HRT for that. But as I have gotten older, I have had some slowdown in how my body usually operates, and my sleep is wildly affected. So I went through a company called 10X Labs and got blood work done and some genetic testing done, which has been wildly helpful for me. And I'm just sharing this just because I am an open book. I'm honest. I know a lot of people have questions when it comes to HRT, hormones, fat loss, health improvement, especially when we are in our mid to late 30s, early 40s, and then beyond when we get into full on perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. And that's a majority of the work that I do. I also talk a lot about preventative measures. So if you are in your 20s or early 30s, implementing a lot of these things is going to help you have less symptoms and less issues as you progress in your age. Like getting older doesn't have to be this horrible thing. I actually like it. I'm excited to progress with my goals, both my health and wellness goals and my career goals, my financial goals. And I just feel like every year gets better as long as I'm continually holding myself to the standard that I want to be held to. So again, that's why I'm sharing this. It really is just me wanting you guys to kind of understand where I'm coming from. I also like to be very upfront and honest. If I'm using something that is helping me, I share that. I am on just testosterone right now and then a bunch of supplements that they recommended for me to help. I had some sluggish thyroid issues. So far, my estrogen and progesterone seem to be okay. I will probably supplement those if we see issues in the future, but for now we're good. And I'm working on some methylation stuff. My body wasn't processing protein correctly, which is ironic because I am constantly preaching protein. So I'm on an extra protein supplement as well, and so far so good. Like I said, sleep is kind of on and off still, but I have hope that will improve. And I'm feeling like I have a lot more energy throughout my days. And I want you to know this too, because it can seem like social media, I feel like, can make everybody's lives seem like they're perfect, or, we're talking about reaching health and wellness goals. You see somebody who's accomplished those goals, and we can feel like we're never going to get there, or that people that we see online are struggling with similar issues that we're struggling with. And I know that to be completely false. And so that's why I like these long form instead of like short form blurb post content, where you're not getting a whole lot of information about me or about health and wellness or about my thoughts on various methods of feeling better, looking better, whatever it is that you want to accomplish. So I just like to share kind of where I'm at in my journey. My current goal is to lose a little bit of body fat. That's where I'm at. I like the fall for body fat loss. I know it's still July, so like don't come at me for saying fall, but usually I consider fall months. So I go in quarterly blocks, and this is kind of how it works in the wellness industry. Is like January, February, March are really good times to hit some health and wellness goals, start to ingrain yourself in a new routine post holiday. I'm not a big like New Year's resolution person. It just happens to like kind of align with that. And then we go into the spring and summer, which can be slightly harder. There's a lot more going on. Kids are out of school, going on vacation. So then when we hit August, the kids go back to school, August, September, October, right before the holidays start to roll in. And usually we see a decline in wanting or the ability to stay consistent in a caloric deficit, at least if the goal is fat loss, as we get closer to the holidays. And I'm a big proponent of wellness also being part of, like eating well, moving, walking, sleeping, all of those things. Yes, but also enjoying your family, enjoying food, not having a poor relationship with food. So it all kind of goes together as far as I am concerned. So that gives us the opportunity to give us some like good time blocks depending on what your goals are. And again, if your goal is not fat loss, that's completely fine. But you can use this time after the kids go back to school to improve energy levels, to improve sleep quality, to improve food, to lower your stressors. And that's what we're going to get into today. And again, all of these things can lead to changed body composition, but that's not necessarily the outcome that we're looking for. We're talking first about health, and then we talk more about body composition as, if that is the goal. And again, if you guys want me to cover any topic specifically, I'm more than happy to do so. You can comment on any of these. You can reach out to me directly, shoot me a friend request. Let me know though. I have almost 5,000 friends, and that's where Facebook cuts you off, unfortunately. I think you can follow me, but I would rather connect with you guys and like all the random people that I've connected with over the years, a lot of them that I don't know. So if you want to shoot me a message, I can shoot you a friend request, and then I know I'm talking to my MOMnation people specifically, because I'm here to support you. I'm here to support you specifically, and then of course my audience as well. But a part of my week is showing up for you guys in MOMnation. So I want to be able to show up the best way for you all. Okay, let's dive into, we're just going to go over 5 healthy habits today that you can do without overhauling a lot of things. We're going to talk about free stuff that you can do as well. So nothing's going to cost you more money, minimal time commitment, and in the long run, hopefully it will save you time, promote better energy levels, and get you to a place that you want to be with your health. And it's stuff that you can implement with the whole family as well. So number 1 is going to be making sure you are consuming enough nutrient dense food. This is going to help with satiety levels, so cravings. It's going to help with maintaining or building lean muscle mass, which also helps with metabolism. It's going to help with hormonal balance. It's going to help with sleep. It's going to help with energy. All of those things are going to play a role in making sure you're getting the correct amount of nutrients. So we're going to start simple, and we're going to talk about protein, and we're going to talk about fiber. So essentially lean proteins, animal proteins, and fruits and vegetables. Yes, if you are vegetarian or vegan, obviously you want to swap this for vegan proteins, but I am not. So I'm going to speak to what I know, and what I recommend more often than not is lean animal proteins and heavy on the fruits and vegetables. So with your meals, we want to make sure that we are consuming somewhere in the range of 25 to 30 grams of fiber protein with every meal. You can do this with lean proteins while still staying in a deficit if that's your goal, or staying closer to maintenance if that is your goal. Things like chicken, turkey breast, or ground turkey, lean ground turkey. You can get the 7% fat one, or you can get the no fat turkey breast. Fish, shrimp, Greek yogurt, eggs, and egg whites. Especially if you do a whole egg and then add egg whites, you're going to get a lot more protein, bang for your buck, but you can still have your scrambled eggs or your fried eggs, or whatever the case may be, whatever you like there. Cottage cheese is also a good one. So let's pick one protein that you can get about 25 to 30 grams of protein. So I'll tell you, for example, my daily breakfast is Greek yogurt. It's 20 grams of protein, and then I add berries for my fiber source. We want to have a fruit or vegetable with every meal. We want to shoot for about 25 to 30 grams of fiber a day for most people, if you can. If you are vegetarian or vegan, that is going to be higher. You're going to have a higher carb intake overall, just because the fruits, vegetables, legumes, beans, nuts, all of those things that you're consuming are going to just be higher in carbs, some of them higher in fats, but generally speaking, your carb intake is going to be higher. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with carbs, especially when we're talking about whole food carbohydrates. We want to eat them. They're our body's preferred energy source. So if you're feeling low energy and cutting carbs, you're doing yourself a major disservice. What you want to do and what you want to realize is that we want to be consuming more of our food from single ingredient whole food sources, and some of our food from like more processed fun foods. Usually the foods that we have demonized as carbs are actually higher in fat. So we're talking like pizza, potato chips, cookies, cakes, brownies, those kinds of things. Yes, there are carbs and there are carbohydrates in there, but usually they're higher in fats, which is what can lead to weight gain. It can lead to imbalanced nutrients. It can lead to frustration when it comes to body composition change, because we're essentially consuming more of the macronutrient fat that has the highest caloric load. So it's going to be 9 calories per gram, as opposed to protein and carbs, which are 4 calories per gram. And so you can actually eat more of those, especially when we're talking about whole food carb sources. So stuff like rice, quinoa, yams, potatoes, fruits and vegetables, beans, those kinds of things are all going to be beneficial and keep you balanced, keep your energy high, and make sure you're full. So it doesn't have to be complicated. Like I said, I just have a container of Greek yogurt. I don't even go with the big container because I don't want to measure it out. I just want the one container. I add berries depending on whether or not I'm eating in my maintenance calories or eating in deficit calories. I will add like nuts or chocolate chips. Right now, I'm not. So I just have the berries. Usually today I had a quarter of a waffle because I felt like my carbs are lower because I'm in a deficit right now, and I felt a little bit low energy when I woke up, so I wanted to pop up my carb intake a little bit in the morning. But I got 20 grams of protein there, and then I have a protein drink, which is, I believe, 10 or 15 grams of protein. So we're at 30 to 35 grams of protein for the beginning of the day. And then lunch will look relatively similar. I have usually chicken breast and beans. I do beans very frequently. Good fiber, good protein source, with some sort of vegetable and a little bit of salsa and some cheese usually. So but making sure you're getting protein and fiber with every meal is going to be huge for digestion, weight management, weight maintenance, and overall health and well-being. Number 2 is making sure you're getting enough water. Super simple, right? We've talked about this before on here, is getting yourself, I call this my emotional support water bottle. I carry it with me everywhere I go, but it helps me to make sure that I'm getting my water intake in every single day. Something super simple you can do, and I think it's really fun for kids too. You can take them to Target or Walmart or whatever the case may be, have them pick out their own water bottle. And yes, I know kids lose stuff a lot, but so like keep it on the cheap. Don't get them the Stanley cup. Get yourself the nicer cup if you want to, or if that's not your thing, also go to Target or Walmart and get yourself a cup. Make sure you're consuming somewhere in the range of half of your body weight in ounces of water per day. I like 80 ounces. For me, it's clean, right? It's 2 of these. I have water in my protein drinks. I have water. I usually have like a bubbly water or a coconut water too. So I'm probably closer to like 20 ounces of water a day. But water, of course, right now it's hot. So making sure you are hydrated is hugely beneficial. We want to make sure that we stay hydrated. It also helps with managing hunger cues. So sometimes if we are not consuming enough water, we can crave foods that we don't necessarily want to eat. Usually the fast digesting carbohydrates or the higher fat foods, the more processed foods. Our body is not necessarily going to crave fruits, vegetables, and lean protein. So we have to do our best to give it what it needs. And then also allow some flexibility to have those fun foods in there too. But if we allow for some preventative measures, making sure that like the cravings that we do have are legit, or the hunger cues that we do have are legit, you're going to find yourself in a way better place. So protein and fiber, number one, water intake, number two. Number three is get yourself on a walk every single day. Get the kids involved in this. Now, it's hot. If you are in the Phoenix area or Tucson area, I'm in northern Arizona, so it's not as bad here, but I understand that it is hot. So something that you can do if you cannot get outside, like you're obviously going to have to go early in the morning or later in the evening. And if that doesn't work for you, just getting some movement in. So like put on a dance video, walk, like while you watch TV, the kids will think it's funny. And it looks a little bit ridiculous, but this is something that I used to do frequently when I was really busy. I used to train people in person and I was on my feet all day, but my studio was behind my house. So I just had to go from like my bedroom to the backyard essentially to work. And so there wasn't a whole lot of steps. And if I was training people, I used to start at 5:30 in the morning and then oftentimes wouldn't end until like 5:30 in the evening. And I would get my workout in there. Sometimes getting my extra steps or walks was challenging. So I would stand, my husband and I usually watch a TV show before we go to bed. So I would stand on the side of the bed and just walk in place. You can do that with the kids, get them moving, get them feeling silly, making sure that you're getting somewhere over the range of 7,000 steps a day. This is movement that you can do throughout your day relatively easily. Even with a desk job, I have one. If you look behind me, that's my standing desk. I have a walking pad that I'll get on. I don't like to do it on live videos, these kinds of events, but I will, if I'm writing people's programs or doing check-ins or those kinds of things, I will just stand on that and walk slowly. So that's also an option. You can get a walking pad on Amazon, usually for less than $200. And the kids think they're really fun too. Just be careful, depending on the age. I used to have a treadmill, and when I trained in person, my clients would bring their kids and they were like obsessed with the treadmill, which I think is great. I think getting kids comfortable and excited about exercise equipment is really fun and also gives them the confidence, especially girls. We have been kind of conditioned to be a little bit intimidated by things like weights and those kinds of things. And I have found that parents who introduce those things to their kids so that it's maybe you're not having your 7-year-old lift weights, but they're used to seeing it. It's something that is normalized for them, and then they're less intimidated by weight training and strength training, because I believe and know wholeheartedly that it's vitally important for our health as we get older, as well as weight management, all of these things. So if we can show some fun with exercise for our families, for our kids, you're going to set them up for better success as they age. I really wish it was something that my mom or my parents would have done a little bit more for me. I'm sorry, my nose itches. We were super into music, and we did a lot of like, I played the piano growing up. I played the flute growing up. I played alto sax. But I grew up with a lot of anxiety, and I don't believe that exercise is the only cure for anxiety, but I think it helps significantly. And if I would have been a little bit more active in my junior high and high school days, going into college, I wouldn't have struggled as much with my health, with my mental health as I did in my 20s. if I would have been a little bit more conditioned to being comfortable with weight training equipment and with movement as a child. So I think it's just really important to introduce that stuff, even if they're not necessarily using it, or you get little tiny like plush dumbbells or 1 pound dumbbells or whatever, so they want to do it with you. It's definitely beneficial to include them. And I think also going on a walk every single day, just like making that a part of what you do as a family is huge, because that again is we copy what we see more frequently. And I've been listening to this book about finances and how we think about money recently. And I think it's the same thing with our health and wellness. We generally adopt very similar practices, or we go the opposite direction. So we may have a period of wanting to do exactly the opposite of what our parents do, but usually that shifts back and we kind of fall back in line with what we've been modeled as children and adolescents with finances, with money, with business, and with our health and wellness goals. This wasn't something that was mirrored to me, so I do know that you can change it. I had to work very, very hard to change my relationship with food, to change my relationship with alcohol, to change my relationship with exercise, because that wasn't great. I was over exercising and not really doing anything effectively. And that came from, I don't necessarily like to blame my parents, but it just came from my upbringing. So I always encourage parents to start to introduce whole foods, healthy foods, high protein, fruits and vegetables, movement, water into your kids' lives as well, so that when they get older, it's just a part of who they are, or something that they can fall back on if they find themselves struggling. I had to learn it in my 30s. I'm 42 now. I tried in my 20s, but I failed miserably, and I had to learn it. And it really took a while to unlearn some of the coping mechanisms that I had. It's just, I think it's highly important to see and model those behaviors that we want. Healthy body image, eating for strength, eating for fueling, getting stronger, those kinds of things are vitally important for kids. So, okay, we have three. We have protein and fiber, making sure you're getting protein and a fruit or vegetable with every meal. If you want to ignore the numbers, that's completely fine. Just make sure you're having about a palm size of protein and then 2 palm sizes of a fruit or vegetable serving with every single meal. Water, about half of your body weight in ounces every single day. Get yourself an emotional support cup that you can bring with you. 3 is walking every single day. Number 4 is going to be having a good sleep routine. This is something that we have talked about a lot, but if sleeping is problematic for you, whether it's you're staying up too late or you're having trouble sleeping, it can cause a lot of negative side effects when it comes to our health. Body weight is one of them, but it can also cause, obviously, energy issues, a lot of cravings for those fast digesting carbohydrates or high fat foods, so lots of sugar. And generally speaking, they say those who are not sleeping enough are consuming 250 calories plus more a day than those who are sleeping enough. And that's mostly mindlessly. And I would imagine it comes from things like coffee, drinks. We're trying to get our energy levels back up. We're trying to just make it through the day. So prioritizing your sleep routine. If you need to, you can supplement to help your circadian rhythm, vitamin D, K12 during the day with breakfast. You want to consume that or take that with food, hopefully with a little bit of a healthy fat source. So, adding some nuts, avocado, eggs, those kinds of things to your breakfast. It's fat soluble, so it's going to work better with a little bit of a fat source. So take it in the morning, and then at night, we want to take a magnesium complex. I like Magnesium Breakthrough. You can get it on Amazon. It has, I think, 7 different kinds of magnesium in it. So if there's any deficiencies, it's going to help with that. That's going to help signal your body to produce cortisol in the daytime, and it's also going to help your body produce melatonin in the evening and relax a little bit more. Going to bed at similar times, so similar sleep-wake times, will help signal to your body what your circadian rhythm and your sleep patterns are, and then getting off your phone, no scrolling at least 2 hours before you go to bed. It triggers dopamine, which can trigger cortisol, which can make sleep harder, or it's going to delay melatonin response, which makes falling asleep really, really hard. So those are going to help you vitally, again, totally free. And number 5 is resistance training. I am a meathead, yes I am, but you don't have to train 4 days a week or 5 days a week or 6 days a week. You can weight train 2 days a week and get great benefits and great health results from it. You're also going to be able to consume more calories and maintain your body composition or your body weight. You're going to have a lot more flexibility with your metabolic health. You're going to reduce or eliminate insulin resistant issues. You're going to upregulate hormones or balance hormones. It helps with thyroid health. It helps with all kinds of things. Essentially, building muscle mass is the key to a lot of the problems that we have. And it's something that's extremely overlooked, especially for women. It's getting better, but we're not quite there yet. We haven't really ingrained how important having metabolic tissue in the form of lean muscle mass is for our health. And it looks good, right? A lot of people want to look toned, but really the idea is health improvement. And then you can elaborate on it as you want. You can add more if you want to get more muscular. You can stick with your 2 a week if you're feeling really good and energy levels have improved, metabolism has improved, hormones have improved, all of those things. So you can do it at home. You can do it at a gym. If you're doing 2 days a week, my suggestion would be doing an upper body and a lower body, or 2 full body days. And if you're doing more than that, I like a 4-day split personally. I do 2 upper body days and 2 lower body days. And that gives me the ability to have a little bit of manipulation throughout my week as well. If you need help with a workout plan, I have plenty. Shoot me a message. I would be happy to get one over to you. You will need at home at least some dumbbells, maybe a heavier kettlebell and a mat. And then, of course, you'll be set up if you have a gym membership as well. So just to recap, the 5 healthy things that you can do without spending a lot of money, without spending a lot of time, without a whole lot of thought is eating more protein and fiber, having protein in a fruit or vegetable with every single meal. Number 2 is drink your water, half your body weight in ounces. Number 3, get on a walk every single day. 4, prioritize sleep quality and make sure you have a good sleep routine. And number 5 is resistance training that, again, you can do from home. You can do at a gym. Planet Fitness is cheap. It's $10 a month. And I think if you spend 20, you get to bring a friend or your husband or for free. So you could have a workout buddy. And the reason why I like Planet Fitness is because they're cheap. It's an easy opt-in. Most of us have $10 a month that we can spend on our health and wellness. They also have a circuit. So if you aren't sure what to do, you can just go do the circuit. You can scan with your phone the machines and they'll show you how to do them, how to perform each movement if you're not sure, if you're intimidated by it. But you can just go around to, I think there's 10 little machines in the circuit. That way, it's a no-brainer. Get on the treadmill for 10 minutes, warm up your body however you need to, stretch out, do the circuit. Usually, 2 to 3 sets at 8 to 10 reps is great. And then you can pop off of that. You're done. You did your resistance training. You don't have to feel intimidated searching for the machines in the gym. You just go around in the circle. And then if you want to, you can end with a little bit more steps on the treadmill or head home, whatever it is that you need to do. But that essentially costs $10 a month with less stress. No, you don't need a fancy training program. You can do that later. That's something obviously, I'm a coach. I write people workouts. I do recommend that, but I don't think it's necessary, especially if you're just getting started. We want to be comfortable in the gym space. We want to just start working with our muscle and not overthinking it. Most of the time we're overthinking what we need to do to reach our goals or to feel better, to feel healthier. And it really is as simple as most of these 5 things. Of course, we can elaborate on a lot of it. We can talk about more supplementation. We can talk about HRT. We can talk about a lot of things. There's a lot of nuance that goes into it based on each individual. But really the core is these 5 things are going to move the needle a lot further for you in feeling better, in looking the way you want to look, in improving your relationship with food, all of these things. And it's stuff that you can implement with the family as well relatively easily. You don't have to be in the gym for 2 hours every day to be healthy. You don't have to hit 12,000 steps every day to be healthy. Getting a 30-minute walk-in is fantastic. Making sure you're not nutrient void and you're getting enough nourishment. All of those things are going to help dramatically improve whatever it is that you are trying to work on with your health and wellness goals. So I hope that this was helpful. As always, if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. If you want to be on Energy Shift with me, I would love to have you. If you ever want to do a wellness audit, we can do it live. I would be happy to do that here as well. Or if you are somebody in the wellness space and you want to chat with me, I would love to have that conversation. So reach out, let's connect, and I will see you guys all next week. Have a fantastic day.
Struggling to feel your best? When energy is low and nothing seems to work, it's time for a new approach. Here's someone who guides real people to real, lasting wellness. Meet Erin MacDonald, certified master health coach, nutrition coach, and NASM personal trainer. Helping you create simple, lasting routines that support a healthier, more energized you. Feel better, move better, live better. Because health isn't just a goal, it's a lifestyle you deserve. Take the first step toward feeling your best. Your future self will thank you. Connect with Erin today.